Everything is about to change in Emmerdale. After weeks of lies, manipulation, and a dangerous game of cat and mouse, one young man has finally stumbled upon the one thing that could blow the whole sorry story wide open. A secret that Dr. Todd has worked ruthlessly to protect. A truth so damning that once it gets out, there will be absolutely no coming back. Jacob Gallagher has found the smoking gun, and Emmerdale will never be the same again. This is the moment fans have been waiting for, and trust us when we say, Saturday's episode delivers in ways you simply will not see coming. Welcome back to Emmerdale Echoes, your go-to place for the very latest Emmerdale drama, spoilers, and storyline updates. Whether you're here for the jaw-dropping twists, the emotional gut punches, or the moments that have you absolutely screaming at your television screen, you have come to exactly the right place. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because we cover every single development as it happens. And right now, there is no bigger development in the village than what is unfolding around Dr. Todd, and the young man who may just have sealed his fate. Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026 marks what many Emmerdale fans are already calling one of the most pivotal episodes of the year. The storyline involving the increasingly sinister Dr. Todd has been building for weeks now, with tension coiling tighter and tighter around some of the show's most beloved characters. But this Saturday, something shifts. Something fundamental. Jacob Gallagher, a character who has grown enormously over the years from a troubled teenager into a young man shaped by heartbreak, hard lessons, and resilience, steps into the center of it all. And what he uncovers is precisely the kind of evidence that could finally expose Dr. Todd for who he truly is. The online Emmerdale community has been absolutely electric since the episode details dropped, and it is not difficult to understand why. This is the turning point. This is the breakthrough. And we are breaking it all down for you right here on Emmerdale Echoes. To fully appreciate the enormity of what Jacob discovers in Saturday's episode, we need to go back and revisit how we got here. Because the road to this moment has been a long and deeply unsettling one. Dr. Todd arrived in the village presenting himself as a polished, professional, and caring individual. On the surface, he appeared to be everything you would want from someone in a position of medical and personal authority. He was charming, composed, and seemingly trustworthy. But almost immediately, for those watching closely, there were cracks. Small inconsistencies. Moments where the mask slipped just slightly. A reaction that didn't quite fit the situation. A story that didn't entirely add up. A glance that lingered a little too long on something he shouldn't have been interested in. As the weeks went on, concerns began to grow, particularly among those who found themselves drawn into his orbit. Dr. Todd is not the kind of villain who announces himself with thunder and lightning. He is far more dangerous than that. He operates quietly, methodically, with a calculated precision that makes him genuinely difficult to pin down. He always has an answer. He always has an explanation. And for the longest time, that has been enough to keep people doubting their own instincts. Jacob Gallagher has not had an easy journey in Emmerdale. Longtime viewers will know that Jacob carries the scars of his past, particularly the deeply traumatic grooming storyline he endured as a teenager involving Maya Stepney, a storyline the show handled with remarkable sensitivity and which left a permanent mark on who Jacob is as a person. That history has made Jacob both vulnerable and, in many ways, uniquely attuned to the kind of manipulation that others might not recognize. He knows what it looks like when someone uses power and trust as weapons. He knows how carefully such people construct their facades. And that awareness is precisely what has kept him watching Dr. Todd with a wariness that others have been slow to share. In the lead-up to Saturday's episode, Jacob has been quietly piecing things together. Something about Dr. Todd has been nagging at him, an instinct he has not been able to shake. He has been asking questions, noticing things, and putting himself in places that perhaps he should not be, all driven by a gut feeling that something is deeply wrong. And on Saturday, that gut feeling pays off in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Saturday's episode wastes absolutely no time in ratcheting up the tension. From the opening scenes, there is a sense of inevitability in the air, the kind of charged atmosphere that Emmerdale does so brilliantly when it wants you on the very edge of your seat. Jacob finds himself in a situation where, through a combination of circumstance and determined digging, he gains access to something he was never meant to see. What exactly that something is has been kept tightly under wraps by the Emmerdale production team. And rightly so, because the reveal itself is one of those genuine gasp-out-loud moments that the show has built its reputation on. What we can tell you is that what Jacob discovers is concrete. It is not a rumor, it is not a feeling, and it is not something that Dr. Todd can smooth over with one of his carefully rehearsed explanations. This is evidence. Real, tangible, undeniable evidence. The scene in which Jacob realizes what he is looking at is absolutely masterfully constructed. You can see it happen in real time across his face, the confusion, then the dawning comprehension, then the horror, and finally, beneath all of that, something steely and resolute. This is a young man who has spent years being disbelieved, dismissed, and underestimated. And in that moment, you sense that he is not about to make the mistake of sitting on what he knows. What follows is a sequence of events that will have your heart hammering. Jacob has to make an incredibly fast decision about what to do with what he has found, all while knowing that Dr. Todd is dangerous and that the wrong move could expose Jacob before he has a chance to act. The episode plays this tension beautifully, pulling the viewer in two directions at once. Desperate for Jacob to get the information out, terrified of what Todd might do if he realizes what has happened. There is a confrontational edge to the episode that builds gradually but devastatingly. Other characters are drawn into the orbit of what is unfolding, and the ripple effects of Jacob's discovery begin to spread outward in ways that set up what promises to be an utterly explosive few weeks ahead. Relationships are tested, loyalties are questioned, and Dr. Todd, for perhaps the first time, begins to feel the ground shifting beneath him. Though whether he knows exactly why remains one of the episode's many expertly handled dramatic threads. The performances throughout are nothing short of outstanding. The young actor carrying Jacob's story brings every ounce of that character's complicated history to bear in these scenes, and the result is something genuinely moving as well as thrilling. This is not just a plot development, it is a deeply personal moment for Jacob, and the episode never lets you forget that. The Emmerdale fan community has absolutely erupted since news of this episode began circulating, and the reaction across social media has been something to behold. On X, formerly Twitter, Jacob's name has been trending, with fans pouring out their support for the character and their anticipation for what Saturday's episode brings. There is a palpable sense among the fandom that this has been a long time coming, that justice, or at least the first real step toward it, is finally on the horizon. One theme that keeps emerging in fan discussions is how resonant Jacob's journey feels, particularly given everything the character has been through. Many viewers have commented on how powerfully his backstory connects to this current storyline, and how satisfying it is to see Jacob in a position of agency and strength rather than vulnerability. People have been invested in this young man's story for years, and the idea of him being the one to finally crack Dr. Todd open has generated an enormous amount of emotional engagement online. There is also, of course, considerable speculation. Fans are theorizing wildly about what exactly Jacob has found, what Dr. Todd's secrets truly are, and who else in the village might be implicated. Some viewers are convinced that the full picture is even darker than what has been hinted at so far, and the theories circulating online range from the plausible to the genuinely shocking. That kind of active, passionate speculation is always a sign that a soap storyline has truly landed, and this one has landed in a very big way. What makes this development so significant from a storytelling perspective is not just the drama of the discovery itself, but what it represents for Jacob as a character and for the show's broader thematic commitments. Emmerdale has always been at its best when it grounds its most explosive storylines in genuine human truth. The Dr. Todd arc has never been purely about the thriller elements. It has been about the insidious nature of certain kinds of harm, the way trust can be weaponized, and the extraordinary courage it takes to stand up and say something when everyone around you seems willing to look the other way. Jacob stepping into that role is deeply meaningful, and the show's writers deserve considerable credit for how carefully they have laid the groundwork for this moment. There is also a question of what happens next that is almost as compelling as the discovery itself. Jacob now holds enormous power and enormous risk. Dr. Todd is not someone who will simply fold when cornered. If anything, the danger intensifies from here, and the episode makes clear that Jacob will need more than just what he has found if he is going to bring this to a conclusion that actually sticks. Looking ahead, the coming weeks in Emmerdale promise to be utterly unmissable. Now that Jacob has what he needs, the question becomes whether he can act on it quickly enough and safely enough to make it count. Expect the net to begin closing around Dr. Todd, but expect him to fight back hard before it does. This is not a man who goes quietly. There are also whispers that Jacob will not be facing this alone for much longer. Other characters are beginning to connect the dots, and alliances are forming that could prove crucial. Whether those alliances hold under pressure is another matter entirely, and one that is likely to fuel some of the most dramatic scenes Emmerdale has produced in quite some time. Keep your eyes particularly on how Dr. Todd responds once he begins to sense that his carefully constructed world is under threat. The show has done exceptional work in making him a genuinely unnerving presence, and the pressure of being exposed is only likely to make him more unpredictable. The next few episodes could be genuinely dangerous territory for everyone around him. So to bring it all together, Saturday the 18th of April delivers a pivotal, emotionally charged and brilliantly executed episode of Emmerdale in which Jacob Gallagher finally uncovers the evidence that could bring Dr. Todd crashing down. It is the moment fans have been waiting for, built on weeks of careful storytelling and powerful character work. The discovery itself is explosive, the performances are outstanding, and the stage is now set for what promises to be an extraordinary run of episodes that will keep every Emmerdale viewer absolutely glued to their screens. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think Jacob has discovered? Do you think he can actually bring Dr. Todd down, or is the danger too great? And who else in the village do you think might be caught up in this before it is all over? Drop your theories, your reactions, and your predictions in the comments below. We genuinely love reading every single one of them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really does help the channel more than you know. And if you have not already subscribed to Emmerdale Echoes, now is absolutely the time, because this storyline is only going to get bigger, and we will be right here covering every twist, every shock, and every unmissable moment as it unfolds. We will see you in the next one.